Have you ever wondered where chocolate comes from? The answer takes us on a journey back in time, to the lush tropical regions of Central and South America, where the story of chocolate begins with a tree, the cacao tree to be precise. Theobroma cacao, or the food of the gods as it was named by the Swedish botanist Carl Linnaeus, grows in the warm and humid climates of these regions. It bears large football-shaped pods, each containing a treasure of beans, the cacao beans, the very heart of chocolate. But before it became the sweet treat we all adore, cacao held a different kind of value. The ancient Mesoamerican cultures, particularly the Mayans and the Aztecs, were the first to recognize this. They were the pioneers of cacao cultivation, innovating farming techniques in the dense tropical forests to nurture these precious trees. For these ancient civilizations, cacao was more than just a crop. It was a form of currency, a sacred offering, and an integral part of their cultural and religious rituals. Cacao beans were so valuable that they were used as a medium of exchange in trade and barter. But the relationship between Mesoamericans and cacao didn't stop at economics or spirituality. They also consumed it, albeit very differently from how we do today. No milk, no sugar, no creamy texture. Instead, they drank it as a frothy, bitter beverage, often mixed with spices or even cornmeal. It was a drink of the elite, a symbol of luxury and power. From the tropical rainforests of the Americas, through the elaborate rituals of the Mayans and Aztecs, to the markets where cacao beans were traded like gold. The journey of chocolate is a tale of transformation. It's a testament to the ingenuity of cultures, the allure of taste, and the universal human love for a good story. So the humble beginnings of our beloved chocolate were far from sweet, nestled deep within the rituals and economies of ancient Mesoamerica. But as we'll see, the story of chocolate doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. But how did this bitter beverage cross the ocean to reach Europe, you might wonder? Let's take a step back to the early 16th century when Spanish conquistadors, under the command of Hernán Cortés, sailed across the Atlantic to the New World. As they explored the vast lands of the Americas, they encountered various indigenous cultures, each with its unique traditions and practices. Among them, the use of cacao stood out. These strange beans, used to brew a unique frothy drink, piqued the curiosity of the Spanish explorers. Despite the initial disdain due to its bitter taste, the Spaniards soon realized the potential of this peculiar crop. Noticing its significance in local cultures, from ceremonial rituals to everyday consumption, they understood that this was more than just a drink. Hernán Cortés, a man of vision and ambition, saw an opportunity in cacao. He decided to bring it back to Spain, hoping it would intrigue the Spanish court. And indeed it did. However, the bitter taste of the cacao drink was not to the liking of the Spanish palate. A new approach was needed. So the Spaniards added a twist to the Mesoamerican concoction. They began sweetening the drink with cane sugar, a common crop in Spain at the time. This small adjustment transformed the bitter brew into a sweet, delectable beverage, making it an instant hit among the Spanish aristocracy. The cacao drink, once a sacred beverage of the Mesoamericans, now became a fashionable drink in the Spanish court, enjoyed exclusively by the upper echelons of society. The fascination with this sweetened cacao drink quickly spread across the Spanish territories. From the royal court in Madrid to the farthest corners of the Spanish Empire, the taste for chocolate was growing. And so, the Spanish, with their sweet tooth and love for luxury, were the first to spread the allure of chocolate beyond the Americas. Thus, the Spanish conquests marked the beginning of chocolate's sweet evolution and its journey to Europe. As chocolate spread across the European continent, it underwent a transformation. As it traversed the region, each culture left its own unique imprint on the cocoa concoction, enriching the drink with local flavors and preferences. In England, for instance, the bitter brew was sweetened by the addition of milk, a significant departure from the spicy, frothy beverage favored by the Mesoamericans. The English palate favored the creamy, sweet version, and soon the rest of Europe followed suit, creating their own interpretations of the drink. In contrast, the heat of the chili peppers, once a staple in the Mesoamerican chocolate brew, was largely dismissed by the Europeans. Their taste buds sought out the sweet over the spicy, and gradually the fiery kick of the chili was dropped from the recipe. Now, let's fast forward to the late 18th century, a time marked by the Industrial Revolution and the advent of steam power. These developments changed the face of many industries, and chocolate was no exception. A key development during this period was the invention of the steam-driven chocolate mill. This innovation streamlined the process of grinding cocoa beans, making it less labor-intensive and more efficient. This mechanization of chocolate production was a game-changer. It significantly reduced the cost of making chocolate, making it more affordable and widely accessible. What was once a luxury item, savored only by the elite, was now within reach of the everyday man and woman. Chocolate, in its many forms, was starting to take its place as a staple in households across Europe. It was no longer just a drink for the aristocracy or a ceremonial potion for ancient rituals. It was becoming a treat to be enjoyed by all, a source of comfort and indulgence that transcended social class and economic status. With these advancements, chocolate was no longer an exotic luxury, but a treat available to the masses. And so the stage was set for the next chapter in the story of chocolate. A chapter that would see it transform yet again from a beloved drink to a form we're more familiar with today, the chocolate bar. But when did chocolate make the leap from a beverage to the solid treat we know today? Well, let's take a trip back to the 19th century, a time when technological innovation was starting to shape the world as we know it. Among these innovations was the creation of a new tool that would revolutionize the world of chocolate, the chocolate press. This ingenious invention was the brainchild of a Dutch chemist named Coenraad van Houten. You see, Van Houten was a bit of a maverick. While everyone else was content with drinking their chocolate, he had a different vision. He saw the potential for chocolate to be more than just a drink. So he created a hydraulic press that could squeeze out the cocoa butter from roasted cacao beans, leaving behind a dry cake that could be ground into a fine powder. This powder, known as cocoa, was much easier to mix with water or milk, creating a smoother, more palatable drink. But more importantly, the removal of the cocoa butter opened up a world of possibilities. It allowed for the production of solid chocolate. This brings us to the next major milestone in our chocolatey journey, the creation of the first chocolate bar. This sweet achievement was claimed by Fry's, a company based in England in the mid-19th century. Their chocolate bar was a simple but delightful combination of cocoa powder, sugar, and a little of the removed cocoa butter. However, the story doesn't end there. As the 19th century drew to a close, two Swiss gentlemen, Daniel Peter and Henri Nestle, made another significant contribution. They figured out how to add powdered milk to the mix, creating the first milk chocolate. This smoother, creamier version of chocolate quickly captured the public's imagination and led to the popularization of chocolate as we know it today. This period marked a pivotal shift in the history of chocolate, transforming it into the familiar form we relish today. So, how has chocolate evolved in the modern world? As we stepped into the 20th century, chocolate underwent another transformation. This time, it was not just the product itself, but the industry that changed. The emergence of major chocolate companies like Hershey's and Cadbury revolutionized the way chocolate was produced and consumed. No longer a luxury item, chocolate was now mass-produced, making it accessible to everyone, regardless of their social status. Hershey's, founded by Milton Hershey in the late 19th century, was the first to introduce the concept of affordable chocolate. Hershey's vision was to make chocolate a commonplace treat, and he achieved this by creating a cost-effective recipe for milk chocolate, a type previously considered a luxury. Across the Atlantic, Cadbury, another dominant force in the chocolate world, was making its own waves. The Cadbury brothers, Richard and George, brought innovation and ethical business practices to the industry. They introduced the idea of purity in their products, assuring consumers that Cadbury's cocoa was free from adulteration. The rise of these chocolate giants, along with others, led to the wide variety of chocolate products we see today. From simple chocolate bars to intricate truffles, from hot cocoa to chocolate-infused savory dishes, There's no limit to how chocolate can be used in culinary applications. Chocolate's popularity isn't confined to any one region. It transcends borders, uniting us in our shared love for this delicacy. It's enjoyed in different forms around the world, reflecting the diversity of cultures and tastes. In Belgium, it's the luxurious pralines. In Mexico, it's the rich mole sauce. In Japan, it's the delicate matcha-infused chocolates. From a bitter, sacred drink to a sweet, universally loved treat, the journey of chocolate reflects our own human history, full of exploration, innovation, and a shared love for this remarkable delicacy.